What a beautiful, beautiful Monday it is. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. For those of you that are coming on live, joining me live, good afternoon, good afternoon. Today is Monday. This is the day, the Monday that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. I'm looking for my cord for my charger. Can't find it. Wherever it is. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. If you are joining me live on this beautiful Millionaire Monday, I want you to hit the like button, hit the share button, tag Lolly, Dolly, everybody, and let them know that your boy, Ramonepreston, my squad, we are all live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta, the A, the T, and the L. Today is Monday, Millionaire Monday, August the 7th, 2023. And we are live here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. And you, my friend, are watching the Ramonepreston Show. So please put in the comments what city you're watching the show from today. I would love to know where you're watching the show from. If you're a student in any of our programs, if you are a mentee in any of our programs, please let the world know by putting in the comments what role you play inside of our community. Do you play the role of a student? Do you play the role of a mentee? Yeah, I need my charger. I have that little white adapter. It's like a little white adapter, but I'm gonna need like a what do you call it? What do you call that thing? Let me see. Yep. Might need a extension cord too. I'm just all miscombobulated. I'm discombobulated today. I'm struggling today. I don't know if I can. I think I'll be okay with this. Yeah, I think that'll work for now until it won't. I think it'll work for now until it don't work. We'll see how that go. Maybe that'll work. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll. Yeah, I'm gonna need a extension cord probably. I know I got one. Yeah, I'll be good. Let's see if we can make that work. It's really for my IG Live. If I'm gonna go live on IG, I don't have no phone life. So again, if you're a student, if you're a mentee, I want you to put in the comments what role you play in our community. Do you play the role of a student? Do you play the role of a mentee? Please let your boy know. Let me know where you at, what role you play in our community. So again, I want to welcome all of you to the Ramonepreston Show. I hope that this show that we host on a day-to-day basis, I hope it brings value to you. That's the purpose of us coming live every day, to just give you information, things that you might be thinking about, things that you might not be thinking about, but things that could really help you along the way, especially if you are an entrepreneur and you're looking to build a successful organizational enterprise. Now, on today's show, I really wanted to talk about why your business structure matters. You hear me talk a lot about holding companies. You hear me talk a lot about systems, processes. You hear me talk a lot about corporate structure and what you need to do to really leverage yourself and your business to grow, to make more money, to help more people, and to actually make an impact in the world. It all ties to how your business is structured. So we're going to talk a little bit about, why your business structure matters. Why does it even matter? Why does it matter if you have a holding company? Why does it matter if you have an operating company? Why does it matter if you have multiple LLCs? structured a certain way? Why does it matter how you are positioned within that structure? All of this is based on you understanding that your business structure matters, because it does matter. It matters how you structure your business. It matters how you position yourself within your structure in that business. It matters because your systems and processes need to be integrated into that structure. So there's so many reasons why your business structure matters. So now for me, when I say business structure, what exactly am I referring to? What am I referring to when I say business structure? I'm not just talking about a business structure with one LLC. When I talk about business structure, I'm really talking about you setting up a business structure using the holding company. Okay, that's the type of business structure that I'm referring to. So in a perfect world, you and your spouse, you will be at the top, okay? And you will have directly under you a holding company. This is like a perfect world scenario. You have your holding company, and this is typically structured as an LLC, all right? So you got your holding company set up. This is like the typical business structure, all right? And then you might have some certain, I'm gonna use the circles as divisions. Your divisions would be like departments you have inside of your holding company, all right? Every business has divisions. Even churches have auxiliaries or departments that represent the entity as a whole. So you would have your divisions, and then you may even have what we call subsidiaries. Some people will call them operating companies, operating LLCs. So your subsidiaries would be these other LLCs that you have under your holding company, okay? But they're owned by your holding company. So today we're talking about why your business structure matters. Why does it matter if you have your business structured this way? For so many different reasons. I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to explain all the reasons why this particular business structure matters. One reason why this particular business structure matters is because when you structure your business this way, having a holding company or a parent company, having divisions inside of your holding company or departments, and having subsidiaries or operating LLCs that are businesses going into the marketplace, operating, selling products and services. When you have this structure set up, number one, it properly positions you up here. This is one of the reasons why this structure matters, because it properly positions you. So most entrepreneurs, when they have an idea to start a business, right? That business that they have an idea to start is typically an operating business. Do y'all understand that? So when most entrepreneurs come up with an idea to start a business, their idea for a business is an operating business. I want to sell clothes. I want to sell shoes. I want to paint. I want to cut grass. I want to make certain things. I want to provide a service. I want to do hair. Whatever the business is, in most cases, that business that the average, if not almost every entrepreneur starts or think about to start, is an operating business. It's an operating LLC. Well, when you start the operating LLC, you're not normally starting an LLC to operate a business, to sell a product and service, and you're automatically putting it under a holding company. Most of the times, you here are standing right here on top of the operating company, All right. So when you talk to an entrepreneur, you say, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a business owner. Oh, what kind of business do you own? Oh, I own ABC LLC or ABC Enterprises. This is what we do for a living. This is the service we provide. This is the product we sell. Most of the time, the CEO or the owner of the business is standing on top of the LLC, which according to this structure would be an operating LLC. So this is why the structure that I'm telling you matters, because if you keep yourself at the top of the holding company and your holding company owns your LLC, think about all the advantages you have as an entrepreneur. Think about all the freedom you have. Most people, when they do start an operating business, they don't want to do that forever anyway. Nobody wants to just grind and hustle and be out there, just banging out every day to make money in an operating business. Most people, when they start businesses, they might love what they do. They might make money doing what they do, but they probably have like an idea to invest or to retire or to create passive income or to put themselves in a position where they don't have to be the one waking up every day doing the actual thing, selling the service, pushing the product, whatever it is. You get what I'm saying? Well, in order for you to be able to pivot more effectively out of that business that you're operating in, you should have your business structured this way so that you already properly position yourself at the top. Because some of the feedback I get from people who get introduced to the holding company and to this type of business structure, some of the feedback I get is, well, if I don't have money coming in this operating business yet, why should I start another LLC so that this LLC can own my operating LLC that's making no money? Why should I even do that? Well, sometimes you need to think about your structure. You need to think about how impactful it can be and what results you can get from it just structuring it right the first time instead of waiting down the line. Okay, because it's not always in the fact that, okay, you might just be a startup. Sometimes it's in the fact that you want to just maintain freedom and flexibility to be on top of the mountain of your holding company so that you can always think about what is the end goal. Why am I out here hustling and scrapping and grinding and doing all this stuff? Because at some point I want to exit out of this role. I don't want to be stuck here. And when you just put all your eggs in the basket of this business and you sit on top of it, it's not like you can't start a holding company down the road and just put your existing company under the holding company to look like this. It just means you almost have to circle back around at another point when you can do it right the first time and use this as a leverage point. This is a big leverage point. I didn't know this when I started my first business. Me and my wife, we started our first business in 2006. We understood it a little bit. We knew a little bit about the concept of this type of business structure, but we didn't know enough. And so our first business was a real estate business. And we just did what we always did until I realized that it was really slowing me down from painting a bigger picture and from really preparing for where I ultimately wanted to be. So this is one of the main reasons why your business structure matters, because when you have your business structured the right way, even though you might need to have an operating company out there selling products and selling services, you don't have to be limited to owning that company when you structure your business this way. You can own your holding company can own that company, even though you still got to wake up every day and sell the product or provide the service, but it's through your holding company. It's through the structure that keeps you at the top of this company thinking about, where am I going? What am I doing while I'm providing the service? While I'm selling the product, where else can I go? What else can I do? All right, because I meet a lot of entrepreneurs who own businesses, and that business is in one industry, it's in one area. They tired of doing it. They really don't want to do it. They ain't making enough money in it. And they trying to figure out, like, how can I pivot? How can I pivot out of this? And they just can't figure out a way to pivot out of it. Well, one of the first pivots should be that you structure your business in a way that you ain't directly tied into that anyway. All right? So I have a holding company. I'm at the top of my holding company. I've got divisions inside of my holding company, and I also have the operating LLC. So now I can use my operating LLC to do certain things, but at least I have the freedom and flexibility to have this structure set up, and it gives me a lot of leverage points. So that's one of the main reasons why your business structure, it's one of the main reasons why your business structure matters. If you understand what I'm saying, I would love for you to put something in the comments to let me know that you understand. For those of you that are watching the show today, if you have any questions about holding companies, if you are thinking about starting a holding company or restructuring your corporate enterprise with a holding company and you don't know exactly what you need to do, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can put something in the comments if it's a question you have, or I'll give you my number before the show ends, and you can call me, you can text me, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have. So one of the first reasons why your business structure matters, especially if your business structure looks similar to this, even though this is a sloppy sketch because I'm freestyling it, but one of the main reasons why is because it keeps you properly positioned at the top and not positioned on top of an operating company, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you got multiple business ideas. So I was just talking to some entrepreneurs this morning, and they have multiple businesses. They have even more business ideas, right? But one of the main things that they have to focus on is, what are we doing up here at the holding company level? Now, I've talked about some of this before, but when you have a holding company and you are the owner of that holding company, you are not just a laborer inside of an operating business. You're just not a business LLC operator to sell a product or provide a service. You are actually an asset manager up here, because now your holding company that owns companies is an asset management company. You're managing assets. So now you ain't just thinking about how do I sell a product or provide a service. You also, as an asset manager or owner of a holding company, need to be thinking about, how do I accumulate assets? How do I make this enterprise valuable? What exactly do I need to do? We got a question in the chat. How do you bookkeep? Can you have a for-profit and non-profit under the holding company? I know some people who have non-profits tied to their holding company. I personally don't have mine. I mean, I do have a non-profit, 501c3, but I don't have it tied to my holding company. So I have it separated. So even though I'm the CEO of my nonprofit and I'm the CEO of my for-profit, I don't have the two entities tied together, and I certainly don't have my nonprofit under my holding company. So, that would be a question that you would need to ask an attorney, someone who could help you understand if that is the best thing to do. Because me personally, I don't have it set up that way. So the only entities that I have under my holding company, and the only operation and business activities I have under my for-profit holding company LLC are for-profit business activities. I personally separate that. I separate that from my nonprofit, because I don't want my nonprofit to be, I don't want it to be exposed to the risk and to the volatility and to all the drama that I deal with over here in my business. Even though my business, my holding company and my business enterprise, I make donations to my nonprofit because my donations are tax deductible. So I make donations from my holding company to my nonprofit. They're tax deductible donations. My holding company and my businesses, we believe in tithing because I'm a preacher. We got a church, so I believe in tithing. So we pay our tithes, we give offerings, we make donations to our nonprofit. So I separate those entities, okay? Can a holding company be tied to a living will trust? Of course. Most of the times when you have a holding company and your holding company owns companies, most of the times at some point what you do is you create a trust and you transfer the ownership of the holding company to the trust, and then you own the trust. But it's the same similar concept. The only difference is you're just dropping a trust in the middle of you and the holding company, but it's the same concept. So that almost always happens to people who build this type of business structure, and then they start accumulating enough assets, increasing their net worth, getting a lot of money, and then they start a trust and they transfer the ownership of the holding company from this person to the trust, and then the person owns the trust. That's typically how they do it. You got another question. How do you bookkeep? Well, your bookkeeping is really going to be based on how many entities you have. So every entity you have, you should have a separate bookkeeping account, like QuickBooks. All right, so let's say in this example, you got one LLC here, your holding company, then you got 2, 3, 4. So in this example, you will have 4 QuickBooks accounts, right? So in each of these QuickBooks accounts, you're going to be tracking the income and expenses for that entity. In this one, you're going to do the same thing. In this one, which is your holding company, your holding company's QuickBooks account will actually have line items for all these other LLCs. But it still needs to be separate. You're going to have separate bank accounts, separate QuickBooks account, but that's how you bookkeep. So your bookkeeping for the holding company is going to include the divisions, it's going to include any subsidiaries or operating entities that it has. It's going to include that. But these operating entities, if they are separate LLCs, they need to have their own QuickBooks account. Okay, so it's really not that hard to set it up. It's not that hard to integrate these systems, which is another reason why your business structure matters. Because number one, you want to make sure that you're properly positioned and you maintain that position as you grow your business. Even if one of your operating businesses is growing more than the other ones, being positioned here at the top of your holding company keeps you thinking like an asset manager. It keeps you building your organizational enterprise as opposed to just trying to focus on this one business that you're operating, because that might be the business that's making you money. Another important reason why your business structure matters is when you are kind of a part of the question that was just asked about bookkeeping, when you are integrating systems, when you're trying to create processes. So now you don't really know what systems you really need or what systems are best to run this type of complex business structure until you have it set up that way. Now you can know, okay, for my financial systems, I'm going to need, in this example, 4 different QuickBooks accounts. But you might have a CRM for your sales and your marketing. Guess what? You might not need 4 different CRMs. Like I have a couple different CRMs that we're getting ready to transition to another one. But the current CRM that we use here at our company, it has workspaces and boards that include any division or subsidiary under our enterprise. So we can go to one CRM and we can actually see the boards for all of our divisions, for all of our operating LLCs, and if there is a specific database we have for this LLC that's different than this LLC, and that may be different than this division, we can put all that in a CRM. And they have CRMs and they have project management platforms that you can integrate 3 or 4 different systems and processes in one, and you don't have to have separate platforms and software for all of your activities. You can have them all in one except your financial activities. You want to separate that. Let's see here. Amika, the question is, who can create a holding company for me? We have a corporate service division. So we actually have a division that we do that. So if you need some assistance with that, all you have to do is just reach out to me today, and I'll be more than happy to answer any question that you might have. But we do offer that. We do offer corporate services where we can file and form your paperwork for your holding company, LLC, for your operating company, LLC, or however many you need. We can draft your operating agreement. We'll make sure you get your EIN. We'll register it with the Secretary of State. We can do all that for you right here in-house at Ramonepreston Enterprises. So what I would encourage you to do, my friend, is just take this number down and text. You could text the word holding. That'll definitely get our attention. If you text the word holding, then we know you watched the show, and we'll reach back out to you after you text, and we'll get some information to see what exactly do you need. If you need us to create it, that's an easy process. We can have that set up, and most likely it'll be all filed, formed, and you'll get your paperwork and confirmation back typically within a week or two. You know, it's not that long. It's not that long of a process, especially if you're just doing it, you're processing it regularly. Just a regular process, it might take a week or so. That means you'll have your EIN number, your articles of organization, your operating agreement, and you'll have your holding company set up, whatever state you're in. We can do it from any state. So just text holding to 678-276-8253, and we can make that happen. We not only, for those of you that are watching, just the FYI, not only do we, I'm looking for my board, where we at right here. Not only do we file and form the paperwork for your holding company and operating companies, but we have courses on holding companies. We have a whole holding company program teaching you all the ins and outs, answering probably 70, 80 questions that people will have and you might not even think you have. We answer questions most people don't even think about when it comes to holding companies. We have a do-it-yourself startup kit inside of that. So we have a lot of information. Yes, 678-276-8253. Just text the word holding, and we'll reach back out to you, and we'll answer any questions you have. And if you would like for us to set up your holding company, we can get that started today. And within a week or two from now, you will be the owner of a holding company with your paperwork in file. So again, today we're talking about, why does your business structure matter? When I say business structure, I'm not just talking about you going to the Secretary of State and starting an LLC. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you setting up a holding company and you structuring it with divisions and subsidiaries so that you can leverage your business structure and leverage all your ideas through this type of enterprise. We have another question in the chat: how to open up a holding company in America for non-American. I have absolutely no idea how you do that, my friend. You will have to speak to an attorney who understands that. I wouldn't know how to do it. I know nothing about any of that. So, because when you, all I know is when you set up a holding company or any entity, in order for you to get your EIN number, you're gonna have to give names, information, social security numbers of the person who's gonna be responsible for that EIN that will be associated and attached to a entity. If you're not an American citizen and you don't have a social security number, then I don't know how that works. I'm not a lawyer, so I can't answer that question. Would I need to have at least one asset to start a holding company? Nope. It's not like a trust. So if you started a trust, in order for you to fund that trust, you need to have something to give that trust, an asset. But if you don't have anything to put inside of a holding company, it doesn't matter. It's a LLC. The primary purpose is for that LLC holding company to hold assets. But if you start it and set it up and it's legal and it's existing, it's active, then the goal is to accumulate assets. That's the asset accumulation part. So you don't have to start out. It's not mandatory for you to start out with something. You can set it up and it could be empty and inactive for 3 years. And finally you come up with an idea or accumulate an asset and you're ready to transfer the ownership of that asset to your holding company. Then that will be the time that you activate it and make it official. So there are no requirements of you having to have something to give the holding company. Like if it was a requirement, then you just give the holding company some pens, or give the holding company some equipment or something. But I don't know of any requirements for that. I know a whole lot of people who have holding companies and they haven't done anything with them other than set them up, open up bank accounts. Maybe they have a Duns and Bradstreet, a NAV account. Maybe they're trying to establish some trade lines and some business credit. But for the most part, if you don't have assets to give the holding company, that won't stop you from being able to start one, because you're starting an entity. There are probably millions of LLCs that exist today with EIN numbers, with articles of organization, with bank accounts that ain't doing no business. They waiting to do business. So I would say, no, you wouldn't need that. Are holding companies taxed individually? I don't know what the question is. I don't understand the question, if are holding companies taxed individually. So I understand the question. So I'm not a tax person or an attorney. So, I just want y'all to know respectfully, if you're asking me questions about legal stuff or tax stuff, I don't have the answers. I have attorneys and tax people that I work with. So whenever I have a activity in my business, or I have an idea for an activity in my business and I'm not sure what the legal side of it is or the tax side of it is, I go to my attorney or my tax person and I ask them. So I just want you to understand, if I'm not answering some of your questions, it's because those questions like cross the line from what I can do. So are holding companies taxed? Well, if you set up your holding company like a LLC, to my knowledge, it's going to be a pass-through entity. So the owner is going to be taxed. So like, for example, I can only give you based off my experiences. I have a holding company. I have business activity inside of my holding company. I have divisions. I have subsidiaries under my holding company, right? I mean, you can pull this stuff up on Google. This stuff, it's public knowledge, because I don't have any hidden entities, I guess, or agendas. But so when I do my taxes every year, like I'm about to do, when I do my taxes, I have an individual tax from any income that came in individually, 1099 income. And then I have my business tax return. So my holding company is my business, my main business. Anything that goes on inside of my business, it passes up through to my holding company. Now, again, I don't know how my tax person like consolidates all my taxes to make sure that I minimize my tax liability and all that, but they have that figured out. So I know enough to know that when I make money and I spend money, I need to know how much I got left, and I like to check in with my tax person at least every quarter to make sure I know what my potential tax liability would be at that time, because that helps me to determine what type of investments I need to make, what type of expenses I need to have, what type of moves I need to make so that I can keep that bill lowered. So I'm not 100% clear on the terminology of all that. So I know if you do have a holding company and you own it, all that's going to be passed up through that holding company and those other companies to you. So there may be some legal, language for that, but that's how it works for me. And I always like to tell entrepreneurs, some of this stuff, it's not really necessary for you to know everything about, because what you should have, and this is one of my recommendations when I teach these in my courses and to my mentees, one of the things that you should have is what I call a credibility kit, okay? And your credibility kit should include, it's a credibility kit. Your credibility kit should include certain credible people, all right? So you should have like lawyers, you should have, and it's different lawyers. You should have business lawyers, maybe real estate, tax lawyers, trademark lawyers, all types of lawyers they have. You should have a credibility kit of attorneys. You should have a credibility kit of financial people, tax strategists, CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers. You should have other people in your credibility kit for marketing, for sales. Some of these could be consultants, they could be coaches, but you need to have a credibility kit of people, because what happens is when you don't have that credibility kit, I see this a lot, and you trying to build a business and you're trying to figure it all out by yourself, it paralyzes you because you don't know it all and you're trying to figure out, how can I get this done? How can I get around this? You don't need to know all that. You are the entrepreneur. So a lot of the information that, like most of the information, if not all the information that I share with you, is information that I have gathered and have experienced and participated with in my business as an entrepreneur. So I learned that, I don't have to know the law. I don't have to know the tax code. I don't have to know all this stuff. I just need to know enough, and whatever I do know, I need to get that know from people who know. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to just be browsing the internet, Googling, and just reading everything about business law, tax law, and then I use it in my business and think I'm right. No, I need to have lawyers and tax people in my credibility kit that I can reach out to and say, I'm thinking about doing this. What should I do in this situation? Because what happens is, if you notice a lot of the stuff that I talk about on social media, what we doing, we just launched a new venture for real estate. All these things that I do, I can have confidence, I can have boldness, I can exercise bravado, maybe a little bit of ego. I can flex and be a little exaggerated in my peacocking. You know what I'm saying? That's really marketing. I can praise my own pawn a little bit. Number one, because I have the knowledge. So I'm doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing, and I know it well enough to do it. But I also get this extra layer of confidence, and you should have the same thing, because I've got people who know way more than me supporting me. You get what I'm saying? So I know whatever the moves are that I'm making, they've been vetted. They've been vetted. So that's how you do it. How do you secure your specific lawyers? One of the things that you can do, I often recommend this to my students and mentees. If you live in a certain area, wherever you live at, Google if you're looking for a lawyer, if you're looking for a business lawyer, if you're looking for a real estate lawyer, a tax strategist, a CPA, an accountant, a bookkeeper, anybody that you're looking for that you want to put in your credibility kit, all you do is type your city in Google and the best expert in that area. So if you're looking for a lawyer, the best real estate lawyer, best business lawyer, best tax strategist, best bookkeeper, best marketing consultant, whoever you're looking for, type in the best of that industry in your city. You shouldn't be looking like in another state necessarily. You want to start in your city because you want to build a base, a credibility kit of people that you can go meet in person. You can set up an appointment. You could build a rapport with. They can know you and understand what you're looking at doing. And that's how you find the best people for you. That's how I've always done it that way, right? I've done it that way. When I lived in South Florida, before I moved here, I did the same thing. I had people that I knew in a local area. When I moved to Atlanta 20 years ago, my wife and I got married. We were on the south side of Atlanta. I lived in Stockbridge. That's the city south of Atlanta. Everybody that I had relationships with, they were in Stockbridge, not by happenstance. Any lawyer that I had a relationship with, any CPA I had a relationship with, those are the two main people you want to have a relationship with. They were in Stockbridge because I could go to Larry's office and see how Larry is doing. Larry can tell me to come by the office today. Let me answer those 5 questions you got. It was just simple as that. Same thing with my attorney. So when I moved to Buckhead, Atlanta, guess what I did? I did the same thing. So I recommend all of you to do that. You want to do that. You want to find the best people, and they might not be the best people for other people, but they're the best people for you. Because what happens is when you get ready to make moves, like my wife and I, we just launched our new real estate investment asset management firm, right? So guess what I could do? I could set up appointments, meet with my attorneys. We could discuss all the legalities behind real estate. I could meet with my CPA. So now when I'm coming out talking about real estate investing and we looking for properties and we putting out offers and we getting ready to sign contracts and we doing deals, I got all the confidence in the world. Because number one, I know what I'm doing. I've done my due diligence as the investor, but I've got experts who know all the other stuff I don't know. So that's what you need to do, okay? And again, I'm just answering questions in the comments, so I hope this information is helping all of you. For those of you that are watching live, today is Monday, August the 7th. You are watching the Ramonepreston Show. If you have any questions about holding companies, how to start and structure them, how to file and form your paperwork, how to draft the paperwork, how to use them, how to leverage them, all of these questions can be answered if you just reach out to me. We can talk about divisions, subsidiaries, structuring it, leveraging it, accumulating assets. These are all the things that I teach students every day about. I work with clients and mentees on every single day. So the proof is in the pudding. If you need more information about holding companies or you just have a question, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Here's the number. You can text the word holding to 678-276-8253. Just text the word holding to 678-276-8253. Today's show was about why your business structure matters. I hope to help you understand why your business structure matters. I appreciate you all for watching the show. Please leave comments in the comment section. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from today's show. Let me know the value that you got from today's show. If you're a student or a mentee, please let the world know. Put it in the comments so that they can see that there are real people who are part of our program, our community, that we're helping and educating about business and finance and tax strategies and income and sales and marketing and wealth building. We're teaching this every day. We're helping a whole lot of people along the way. So appreciate y'all. Thank you for joining the show. We'll be back here, same place, same time tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon Eastern on the Ramonepreston